Hey everyone, and welcome to another Interstellar Modeler. In this video, what I'm going to be doing is constructing a Star Trek phaser. Now, this is a kit called the 23rd Century Pistol, and it's a model kit that you'll find occasionally on eBay. And it has all the parts that you need to construct a phaser, as seen in the original Star Trek series. Now, this is actually a rebuild. This kit was put together at one point. I decided to take it apart and refinish it because I'm going to be giving it as a gift to a friend of mine. So just to show you the parts that it comes with, of course it comes with the emitter and all the knobs and pieces that you need to be placed onto the body itself. It comes with the Phaser 1 and of course the handle that screws onto this to make it the Phaser 2. The model also includes this trim here, which I'm going to be replacing with these styrene strips here from Evergreen scale models. Now, the one problem with this kit is the Phaser 1 is a little bit undersized, and it was a little tough to keep the Phaser 1 in place to begin with. So what I did originally was to put extra plastic here to give it some tension. But what I'm going to do this time is actually do what I've done with some of my auto model kits, and that is to use some magnets to keep things in place. Okay, I'm going to start with just repriming this section here, and then I'm going to use Tamiya's Haze Gray for the body color. Then I'm going to work on Phaser 1 installing a magnet here, and then the other magnet's going to go in this middle section here, and that should keep the Phaser 1 in place. So let me go ahead and get started here, and I'll show you my progress here shortly. Okay, so inside the Phaser 1, what I decided to do is put a huge magnet here and one behind here, and we'll mount some adjoining magnets into the body. I've also placed a magnet inside of here as well because I'm going to create a stand that is magnetic, and that'll allow the phaser to stand on its own. Okay, just to show you my progress now, the handle has been reattached to the body, and there's a screw that's holding in place as well as some super glue. And the body, of course, was repainted and refinished with a matte finish there, and I'm going to reattach the emitter and these other pieces here shortly. Now, the Phaser 1 has a magnet inside of it here, as well as towards the back section, so I've already installed one magnet here. And then I created this here out of just styrene plastic with a neodymium magnet inside there, and that's going to fit into this section here. And the attraction of that magnet is what's going to hold the Phaser 1 in position there. So everything's coming along pretty quick here. One other thing I wanted to show you is, again, remember the model came with this trim that you're supposed to use on the side of Phaser 1 here, and but I decided to create my own. As I showed you, I was going to use these styrene strips. So this is just a half rod styrene strip there, and I just cut it to the proper length, and then I put a little grinding stone at the edge of my Dremel here and just used it to round out the edges. So next is to paint those silver, and those will be ready to go. Okay, so I'm in the process now of attaching these silver pieces here, the trim, and this is a good example of how important it is to have a, if you're going to use super glue anyway, and that's what I use here. It's just this Gorilla super glue. I put some on one end, and then I applied a Instaset, which actually I put into a dropper bottle, and that way when you apply it, you're able to have the super glue adhere instantaneously. And then all I did was I just lightly used compressed air to blow the excess Instaset out of there, and then just glued the rest of it into place in the same fashion. Okay, and here we now have the Phaser 1 part completed, and these other parts were very simple to put on. That's why I didn't tape anything here, because they were just pieces that you just glued on at the surface here. And this silver piece was already here. I just taped it over and masked it while I was doing the refurbishing. So this is all set, and now let's go ahead and finish up the body. And similar to the detailing of Phaser 1, these are the details here that go on the body. So this just goes right about here, and then this goes on the back side, and of course we have to glue the emitter. So I'll proceed with that, and I'll show you when we're all completed. Alright everybody, and here we now have the finished kit. This is again is the 23rd Century Pistol Kit. No doubt it's called that to avoid any legal entanglements with Paramount, but essentially it makes a replica of the phaser seen on Star Trek the original series. The colors that I used here for the body again was Tamiya's Haze Gray, and I just used a flat black for the Phaser 1 there. The Haze Gray I chose because it has a little bluish coloration to it. Pictures that I've seen of the studio model, they always tend to look a little blue-gray to me, so I thought this was a nice mix. The base was made with a wooden piece that I got at Michaels. These essentially are coasters you can decorate. A magnet was embedded into the base so that it interacts with the magnet that's inside the handle here and allows it to stand up just like that. And the base was decorated with a piece of styrene plastic that was painted with Tester's medium gray. So again, the magnets are a great solution if you particularly need parts of your model to be detachable. These Neodymium Magnets now are readily available online or any hardware store. I found these here at Home Depot. If you recall now, there's a magnet inside the phaser. Here we go, right here, and one towards the rear. And there are adjoining magnets inside phaser 1 here and here. And this phaser 1 was painted with flat black and then covered with a matte coating. So being that we're looking at this phaser model here, I thought it'd be a good chance to show you some of the other phasers that I have in my collection. There have been a number of renditions through the years. One of the earliest that I can remember is the phaser from the Exploration Kit by AMT, which was not a very accurate model. But through the years there have been other releases. And let me just show you what other ones I have here. So one of the fanciest ones I have is this phaser here by the Wand Company. I got it from a website called thinkgeek.com. Now the manufacturer claims they used a laser scanner to scan over an original prop, so they claim that this is a very accurate representation. As you can see though, the phaser is painted with just a gray, which I thought was the wrong color to use, but overall when I look at this this rendition here and compare it to pictures of the studio model, it does look pretty accurate. So assuming this is an accurate representation, if you compare the two, you can see that our 23rd century kit isn't too bad. If again, assuming this is an accurate model of the phaser, this has more of an angle than our 23rd century kit does. And the stem at the emitter seems to be a lot longer here. This actually seems a little short to me. But again, you can tell the 23rd century kit is still making a nice display here. Now, the fun thing about this phaser is that you can actually turn it on. It is functional as a TV remote, so you can program it to turn the channels on your TV by shooting your phaser at it. But it does have this FX mode, which I'll turn it on now. And by doing so, it allows you, by turning the dial here, to emit different sounds. So you can see this one is the stun setting. And then we've turned the dial here and it becomes more of the standard sound that we're used to. And you can see how the emitter lights up as well. And if you turn it even further, the sound just gets at a higher pitch. And there's even one setting that if you turn it to, it sounds like it's a phaser on overload and it explodes. At least the phaser doesn't explode, but you can hear it explode. So again, this is made by the Wand Company. It's available at a website called thinkgeek.com, and you could still get a hold of them. They run about 150 bucks. Next up I have here the phaser from Diamond Select. This one came out a number of years ago, and looks like to be a pretty decent replica as well. You can see how it compares with our 23rd century kit, and how it compares with the one from the Wand Company. This one is a little bit longer. It's painted in a blue-gray coloration there, and the phaser one is detachable also. I don't have any batteries in it, but this emits sounds as well. And the last one to show you here now is this one I got at the Star Trek Experience in Las Vegas. That was something that was around a number of years ago now. It's closed down, unfortunately. But as you can imagine, they sold a lot of different Star Trek related items, and this was one of them. This now is a squirt gun, which is why the trigger looks this way. You fill it up with water, and when you pump it, it actually squirts water out of the emitter. So wouldn't that have been fun to have as a kid? So it's just one of these novel items to have around in my collection. So again, this is a squirt gun from the Star Trek Experience. Alright, so there you have it, and boy, would I have loved to have any of these as a kid. They just didn't have any of these sorts of things when I was younger. But again, this is the 23rd century pistol. Just to wrap it up here, if you have any questions about this, just let me know. You can email me at interstellarmodeler@gmail.com, or you can leave a comment here at my YouTube channel. So, thanks again for watching. I always appreciate it, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care.